California, Northern California, Redwood Curtain, famous course out here in Lake Joe Mama. And I actually am doing a 2024 in the bag, mainly because last year I played Bigfoot. It's a huge local tournament with over 200 people. James Proctor's played it, Will Schusterith, Greg Sbarsby, all these guys have played it before. I won MA2 last year. I decided to do it in the bag for fun because it just felt right. I won the tournament, and luckily this year I actually played MA1 and ended up winning it in a playoff in MA1. So that was a big deal for me. I was really excited about that, and I figured, well, let's keep the tradition alive. So here's my 2024 in the bag. Got a pound Octothorpe custom. Wife, my mother-in-law Cindy, and my mom Christy, and my wife Jasmine have all chipped in for it, and meant a lot to me. So it's done great. So let's get started on it. Got my putting putters, which are going to be Discraft Lunas, beadless, super glidey. I don't throw these, just putters. Had this Yoda Luna for about 2.5 years. Absolutely love this thing. It's glidey, dependable, has like a finish, and I feel comfortable with it. Then we got OTB Open Soft MV, and you'll probably notice in the clip I had another MV hit a tree over here, went in the water. So that's unfortunate, but I got like 5 more at the house. So love these guys. They have like a real pushing fade. They kind of fly like a buzz in mid-range, but it's a putter. They go really far. You can yank on them. Dependable stability. Just I think I throw kind of hard, so they finish for me. I like to throw them on a hyzer, throw them flat, turnovers. They always finish where I want. They flatten out, they push, or they go flat. They just go flat. So that's why I like them. Then I have my zones. Got a Jawbreaker zone. This is a flip up. So I'm going to be throwing this on like a hyzer for a flip up turn. This is a really weird disc. It's not a zone. And sometimes throw it like a hyzer flip forehand. It'll literally flip up. And so this is a weird one. I don't throw this that often, but it's kind of fun to have. And here's my zone. Everyone has an actual zone. So this thing's super stable. It's actually a double ace disc. Love this thing. My only ace disc in my bag. The other ones I've put up on my wall. This thing's just, I mean, there's not really much you can say about a zone. It's a finishing overstable approach driver. Overstable approach putter, and yeah, I like to put it on a hyzer, let it finish, throw it, yank it forehand. It is always finishes left or right if you're throwing forehand, and it's just dependable stability, the wind, everything. Right, it's just a zone. So moving on to my mids. If you're in California, you probably throw a lot of mids. Like James Proctor said in his bag, I'm a huge fan of his, probably my favorite, player, Northern California, Bay Area. If you live in California, you probably throw a lot of mids, you probably throw a lot of fairways, because you want to pick your spot and you want the disc to land where you pick it. There's not much yanking big flex lines around here. We have a couple big courses like that, but it's not very common. So we'll start at the top. Shout out to my boy Lucas Sawyer. He won MA1 last year and he's an MPO player now. But he told me about these because he knows my game very well, and I didn't really like rocks, so I decided I want to throw wafts. They have a kind of an interesting bead on the end, but it feels really natural to me. I like them for that 300, 320 range. They're just a dependable, overstable mid-range. So what I don't like about my buzzes, sometimes I'll throw them flat, and they'll kind of finish flat or finish to the right. I like these, I can throw them flat, and they're always going to have that stable finish, and sometimes that's what you really want around here. I can put it on a hyzer, or I throw it on a turnover, and it'll flatten out. The best way to describe it for me is it flies a lot like my MVs, and that's why I really like them. So, and then here, obviously, it's the buzz. So we're going to bomb these out. Got a 4-claw Macbeth. This one I think is really sought after for a lot of people. I think it's kind of like a collector craze, which is a little ridiculous, but it is very stable for me, which I can yank on it, and it's a very neutral, but it has a finish. So if I put it on a hyzer, it's not going to flip over. It's going to have like this pushing hyzer, and it kind of flies a lot like a fairway sometimes. It can go really far. I can throw this like 350 with not much sweat about it. It's pretty stable. You know, I can throw it flat, right, left. Yeah. This one's a little bit more of the prototypical neutral buzz flight. I'll throw this one flat, and I'm going to get turned. I'm going to throw it on a hyzer flip. It's going to pop up, have like a slight turn to the right. Most people would probably throw one like this. I just really enjoy that really stable because I throw kind of hard, so that's my stable one. And then here is the Meteor. This is kind of step up from that buzz that I just had. This one's a little bit more understable. So if I throw it on like a hyzer flip, I'm going to pop up in like a real good turn out of it, or I can throw it on like an anhyzer. The thing is about this, it has a lot of glide. So if I need to get more distance, I can throw this farther than any of my other mids in my bag. And it has a pretty solid finish. This is a big Z one, so it's a big Z Meteor, and it has way more of just a finish. So some of them I've thrown before, like the ESP or even the Z, will flip over on me. This one I can pop, flip, good. So moving on to the mid ranges here. I have quite a few of these, so I'll try to get through them kind of quick. Let's get started with the Athena. It's a T-Bird. It's a T-Bird 3. This one I can get some flip out of, hyzer flip, turn over, forehand. It goes really far, and that's why I like it. I mean, if you've thrown a T-Bird, you know, it's just a stable 7-speed, but I really like it. Crazy swirl, awesome disc. The next step up from that is the Discraft Reaper. This is a new one in my bag that I just started throwing. It's an 8-speed, and it has a really interesting flight for me because it flies a lot like an Athena. It doesn't go quite as far, even though it's an 8-speed, it just doesn't have that understability that sometimes my Athena does. This one finishes left, so if you were to take a T-Bird and a T-Bird 3, this would be the T-Bird, that would be the T-Bird 3. I really like it. I can put it on a bit more of a steep hyzer, and it'll finish, but I'll still get the same distance that I will probably get out of my Athena, but it'll have a harder finish, and that's kind of what I was looking for. I want the same type of disc, but a harder finish, and I couldn't find an Athena that quite had that finish that this one does. So here we are with the Reaper. And then moving up to my, oh, actually, here's another 7-speed. This is a Stalker. It's basically an Eagle. This is a Crystal Sparkle Stalker, so it's a little bit more understable than some. Get like a flip up finish. I like it. I don't really throw it that often. It kind of has like an Eagle flight, flip up, turn, but you know, I throw it sometimes with forehands. So yeah. Then I have my, I have my Passions. Got my first run, had this thing for a while. These are basically everything that I said about a buzz. These are the same thing. Here's a stable one, here's the understable one, except they're an 8-speed. They're a neutral 8-speed. They go really freaking far. I can get these to 400 no sweat. Then right here I got my 9-speeds. Got a Raptor, super stable, Warren Milk die. I like this thing for like that 400, 370 and in spike hyzer. I love it. This one has like a really good pushing ESP flight where it holds, but it doesn't like it's super like the Captain Raptor I wasn't a big fan of because they're just really, really stable for my non-pro arm. So love that. Just classic in the back. And then here is my Undertaker. These are like my control hybrid driver. I also have a 10-speed Nebula Aura Thought Space Athletics Construct. These are very similar. With the Undertaker, I'm probably going to get like the 380, 400 range. This is going to go a little bit closer to like 420. These are like my bombers. But they, like if I want to throw like a hyzer flip through a tight gap, and I need to hit a spot and land, these are the ones I'm going to throw. So those are all of my fairways. I'm not even going to try to put those back in the bag. And here's my drivers. So starting off, got my Infinite Disc G-Blend Emperor, basically a beat-in destroyer. I tell everybody, just throw an Emperor. If you can't throw a destroyer, you're probably just throw an Emperor. So this one is a absolute smash bomber. It's my farthest flying disc by far, and it's very beat in, and it has a late stability. I can throw it on a crazy turnover, it'll flatten out. I can throw it on a crazy hyzer flip, it'll pop up, it'll always finish. I don't throw this one in the wind at all though. This is definitely like my tailwind or my calm day. And then this is just a random Star Destroyer. I almost said G blend. Star Destroyer from the 37th Bigfoot. I just got this one and I threw it in my bag, and I was throwing it today, and it flies a lot like this. So here's a good backup. They're basically destroyers. This is a new one in my bag. This is a ESP Force Bevel Brewery. This one has a crazy glide. I've thrown a lot of Forces, and I'm not a huge fan of them sometimes. But this disc, I get what people talk about with the glide is absolutely ridiculous. I can throw this thing and it pushes. So this one I don't throw very often, but it's in my bag. I think I'm gonna work it in soon because I've been trying to just step up into force range. I really like the feel of the plastic, just the flights were never really there for me, but this one feels really good, so I think we're gonna move forward with that. And then here's also my other Halo Emperor. This is my windy day disc. This is my, if I want to smash on something and I'm gonna get flip into a headwind, but it's always gonna finish. These are pretty stable, especially this one. This one's super pop top. So I'm gonna smash on this, elevation, downhill, everything, and it's always gonna finish, but I'll probably get a big flight out of it. So this is just a step up for my G Blend Emperor. And it's look at that. It's just a sick stamp, one of my favorites. And then here, shout out to my dog, James Proctor. I have all of his discs. This is the only one I bag. This is basically a PD. It's a super, super stable, I want to say it's a 12 speed. It's a 12 speed, and so this thing gives you insane skips, and it's really glidey, but you can see the pop top. Awesome stamp. I'm a NorCal guy, so I'm a big fan of Proctor, obviously, so I want to support him. And this is the one I had in the bag. It gives me, if I want to throw it on like a forehand low, or if I want something that's in a spike or into like a gnarly wind, this thing probably like 400 and in is just gonna crash or hit the ground, skip up and flop. And then here are just a few extras I have in my bag. I sometimes like to keep when I'm doing form work. It's a super cool Auburn Open PFN Destroyer. Just like to throw this one, just work it into the bag. Here's a first run Zeus. I'm also working into the bag. This kind of flies like my Emperors. I've just been branching out a little bit, trying out new stuff. Then here's also a Big Z Zeus, very similar to that first run ESP Zeus. This one gets kind of similar flight. Big Z, this one's really like workable and it feels good in the hand, so I kind of like that one. Here's just a Lamb of God Star Destroyer. I'm a huge metalhead. My dad got this for me, and I was just throwing it for fun. And then here's also a Color Glow Sea Blend Infinite Disc Emperor. I lost one of my other Emperors the other day, so I was kind of just working this one out. And yeah, so that's my bag. And if you haven't followed me or subscribed to everything, if you do so, that would be awesome. I appreciate it. If not, no worries, I understand. But good luck to everyone on the 2024 season, and hope to see y'all out there.